What's up guys, welcome back to CardSpot. My name is Ethan and it is time for YugiNews. Kicking it off with TCG news this week, and it is the release week for 25th Anniversary Rarity Collection. It is the first Rarity Collection being released in the TCG, and basically it's a copy of Japan's, I think it's Rarity Collection 4 off the top of my head. It basically reprints a whole bunch of cards as one of 7 different rarities. So there's Super Rare, Ultra Rare, Secret Rare, then there's Platinum Secret Rare, Quarter Century Secret Rare, Ultimate Rare, and Collector's Rare. And every card in the set is available as every rarity. So what this means is big ticket items like Baron and Pot of Prosperity are going to be cheap in those sort of lower rarity super and ultra rares and those kind of things, and then you'll probably see things like Ash Blossom and also Baron like in that Quarter Century Secret Rare probably quite high, because that's going to be the highest rarity for those cards. Because when I say Ultimate Rare and Collector's Rare, those are the OCG style Ultimate Rare and Collector's Rare, which they don't look as nice as the TCG Ultimate Rares, at least. The Collector's Rares look reasonably similar, but yeah, don't get caught out thinking the Ultimate Rares are exactly the same as the TCG ones. So this is good for budget players, because obviously there's a whole heap of reprints of some pretty expensive cards, as well as just generally good staples like Ash Blossom and those kind of things. But also for collectors, if you're looking to bling out those similar cards, it's a good opportunity for those higher end purchases as well. So I think there's something to be had for both kind of ends of the spectrum with this set, which is pretty cool. Now for OCG news, and we have now the full set list for Phantom Nightmare, including a couple of cards that I want to pick out and talk about here. The first one being Itermakina Carnal. Excuse my pronunciation on that, it's pretty shocking. But it is a level 10 light machine effect monster, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Can't be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand or grave if your opponent activated a monster effect in their hand or grave during this duel. You can only special summon Itermakina Carnal once per turn. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can make this card gain 1000 attack, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, except from the hand or deck, shuffle it into the deck. So, good level 10 machine support. Like, it's light, so it's not earth, unfortunately, otherwise I think it would be completely busted, but that's just a free smack this guy down from your hand, special summon a level 10 to Xyz or link with or whatever. Like, I could see it having a bit of play. It's basically always going to be free, right? Because your opponent is always going to have activated a monster effect in their hand or graveyard with the state of current Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think it's really good. We also get a new root trap card, so for the fans of rooting out there. Terrors of the Netherroot. It is a normal trap card. Target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to their field, then you can banish one monster they control, then return one of your opponent's banished monsters to the graveyard. And if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, then target one level 1 monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then you can set one Terrors of the Underroot, Terrors of the Overroot, or Terrors of the Netherroot directly from your deck. So it's similar vein of a whole bunch of switching monsters around with the other Terrors of the blank root trap cards. So it'll be interesting to see if things like Labyrinth and that pick this up. There's also a bunch of illusion monsters, which I'll flick up on the screen here. If you want to read more about them, click the link in the description below. I'll have the full set list there and you can read all about these guys. There's too many cards to go into. As I was starting to edit this, I realized I'd missed a whole bunch of stuff from Phantom Nightmare, so excuse the lighting change. So, the other exciting card from Phantom Nightmare is the Prisoner Princess of Fruitful Flames. This is a card that's featured on Master Duel advertisements. If you've seen anyone posting about those, it is a Link 3 Fire Fiend with 2700 attack. It requires 2+ effect monsters as material. You can only use the second and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters except fire monsters. During your main phase, you can special summon one fire monster from your graveyard, and if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while this card is in your graveyard, you can target one fire monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card. So, just in line with all of the great fire support that's been coming out recently, we have a really good fire link. This is going to have synergy with things like Fire Kings, you know. destroy a fire monster on your field, destroy an opponent's card, special summon this, then you get the effect of whatever fire monster you destroyed, plus the ability to just straight up in your main phase, oh yeah, I'll bring back a fire monster from the graveyard, allows you to link climb and things like that. I think this card's going to be really good. And then we have 7 new Raidraptor cards, so I'm going to whiz through these really quickly, bear with me. So, first up, we have Raidraptors Noirlanius. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase, if this card was normal or special summoned this turn, you can target 1 Raidraptor monster you control, add 1 Raidraptor monster with a different level from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, increase or decrease the levels of all Raidraptor monsters you currently control by 1 until the end of this turn. Next up, Raidraptor Bloom Vulture. It's a level 4 Dark Wing Beast, 300 attack, 1900 defense. You can only use 1 effect among the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn, and only once that turn. Also, during the turn you activate these effects, you cannot special summon monsters except dark monsters. If all face-up monsters you control are winged beast monsters, you can special summon this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your hand. That's a hell of an extender. 2, if you control no monsters, you can target 2 level 4 or lower Raidraptor monsters in your graveyard, including this card, special summon them in defense position. That is really good. Then we have Raidraptor Rising Rebellion Falcon. It's a rank 13, a Dark Wing Beast Xyz effect monster, 4000 attack, 3500 defense. It requires 5 level 13 Wing Beast monsters. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible. Then if this card has 3 or more Raidraptor Xyz monsters with different names as material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the destroyed monster's total original attack. It's unaffected by other card effects, and once per turn you can detach 3 materials from this card, then target 1 Raidraptor Xyz monster in your graveyard, replace this effect with that monster's original effects until the end phase. Crazy. Then there's Raidraptor Brave Strix. It's a rank 5 Dark Wing Beast Xyz monster, 2000 attack, 2500 defense. It requires 2 level 5 monsters. You can only use 1 of the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. You can detach 1 material from this card, set 1 Raidraptor spell or trap card directly from your deck. If this card has a Wing Beast monster as material, you can detach 1 material from this card, add 1 rank up magic spell from your deck to your hand. And a Raidraptor Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Gains attack equal to its own rank times 100. For spells, we have Rise Rank Up Magic Raidraptor's Force. It's a quick play spell. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. During either main phase or your opponent's battle phase, target 2 or more Raidraptor Xyz monsters you control and or engrave, including 1 on the field. Special summon from your extra deck 1 Raidraptor Xyz monster whose rank equals the total ranks of those 2 or more monsters, and if you do, attach those monsters to it as material. This is treated as an Xyz summon. So that's one way that we make the rank 13. Another spell, Raidraptor Roost, is a continuous spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once each per turn. If a Raidraptor monster is special summoned from the extra deck to your field, you can add 1 Raidraptor spell or trap from your deck to your hand, except Raidraptor Roost. You can target 3 of your Raidraptor monsters that are banished and or in your grave, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then draw 1. So a nice little emerald effect there. And finally, Raidraptor Barrage, a normal trap. You can only use one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. If you control a Raidraptor monster, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Unless you control a Raidraptor Xyz monster at activation, you can only target monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 of your Raidraptor monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Whew! There's a bunch of new support for Raidraptors. If you're a Raidraptor fan, that is great news. Of course, we've seen them in decks like Kashtira and things as kind of a mini engine, but this might give them enough to actually stand on their own. We also get 5 new Aroma cards. Starting it off is Aromalith Rosalina, which is a level 1 Dark Plant Tuner. Attack 0, defense 0. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First is a quick effect. You can discard this card, then target 1 Aroma monster you control, gain life points equal to half its attack. And if this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 Aroma non-tuner from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except plant monsters. That seems pretty damn good. Summon it, special, synchro straight away, or even link or whatever. Yeah, that's nice. Then we have a new fusion monster, Aroma Lilith Magnolia. It's a level 8 dark plant fusion, attack 2600, defense 1800. Materials, 1 aroma monster and 1 plant monster. While your life points are higher than your opponent's, plant monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn you can pay 2000 life points, banish cards on the field equal to the total number of humid winds, dried winds and blessed winds you control. Once per turn, if you gain life points, even during the damage step, you can make all plant monsters you currently control gain an equal amount of attack until the end of this turn. Then we have a new Link monster as well, Aroma Lilith Rosemary, which is a Link 3 dark plant, attack 2200. It requires 2+ plant monsters as material. You can only use the first, second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 aroma card from your deck to your hand. If you gain life points, even during the damage step, you can special summon up to 3 aroma monsters from your hand to zones this card points to, and you contribute 1 monster this card points to target 1 card on the field, banish it, and if you do, gain 1000 life points. That seems really good. They also get a new spell card called Aroma Blend, which is just a normal spell card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. Discard 1 card, place 1 humid winds, dried winds, or blessed winds from your hand or deck face up in your spell and trap zone. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 plant fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from your hand and or field. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, you can also use plant monsters in your graveyard as material by banishing them. That is a pretty handy miracle fusion. And finally, a Trap Aroma Healing, which is a normal trap card. You can only use either the first or second effect of this card's name once per turn. Gain 1000 life points for each aroma monster with different names you control, or you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 aroma monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field, then gain 500 life points. So, a whole bunch of new support for Raidraptor and Aroma. Phantom Nightmare's looking pretty interesting. In terms of the rest of the cards for Phantom Nightmare, I don't think there's anything sort of too amazing, but again, check out the link in the description below for the full set list, and you can make your own decision. Now, for decks this week. If you watched last week's YugiNews, I mentioned a Horus Bystial deck from YCS Indianapolis, and the list is out. So it was piloted by Kaylin Cookie Garcia, and they got top 16 with this list, and as you can see, it's pretty cool. It basically takes Bystials, Horus, and Resonators, slams them all together. I've been playing a little bit with this list this week, and it's a lot of fun. So Kaylin was definitely cooking when they built this list. And full credit to them, because it's a lot of fun and it's decent. You think it could be a bit clunky with too many sort of different engine parts, but it works pretty well. There was also another really cool deck that I think deserves a shout out. It is a Firewall Mathmech deck, top to regional in Greece, and I think just in terms of the current meta, like, good on you. Like, Mathmech is one of those decks that's really cheap actually to pick up, and it's still getting tops, so shout out to Zristos Karatis, I'm gonna go with that, for making top 4 at their WCQ regional with this deck. Really cool to see something other than, you know, Rescue Ace and Pearly and Labyrinth and all those kind of normal decks topping. Now for Master Duel news, and there's actually a few different updates going on here. The first one is a new secret pack called Fires of Scorching Bonds, and it includes Libromancer cards, and it will be available on October 30th, depending on your time zone. There's also going to be a new selection pack called Record of Noble Spirits, and it will include Phantom Nightmare cards. It's also going to have Talonite Constellar Caduceus, Grand Sulphur Coolia, Triage Master, and a bunch of other cards in there as well, so that's cool to see some of those new cards being brought in. And also in Master Duel news, we have a new Forbidden and Limited list, and well, really there's not a whole lot. Basically, newly limited is Yatagarasu, which, okay, that did nothing when it came back in the TCG, and I doubt that it's going to do anything coming back in Master Duel. And also Talonite Ptolemaeus, coming back to limited, and then no longer limited is Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos, which again hasn't really been doing much. Also in Master Duel, it is worth noting that the text for Gandora X, the Dragon of Demolition, has been updated. So previously in Japanese, it would say the current attack of a monster, but now it says the original attack of a monster. So it was being used for a bunch of OTKs and FTKs, things like that. So now it's actually been corrected to match the TCG wording, which is the original attack. What this means is not really too much, but it could imply that there maybe is some future Gandora support coming, or Konami was just going back and fixing an error. We'll have to wait and see. And that is it for this week. It's not too much of a crazy week, but it is going to be a fun week because we will have Rarity Collection. We're going to be opening 6 boxes because Euro print Rarity Collection boxes are insanely expensive. So I got 6 boxes for the same price as a case of a regular set. So we're just doing 6 boxes of Rarity Collection. So make sure to stop in 2 days' time for that. That will be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to opening that up. And thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we do these every week to keep you updated on anything you may have missed. And I will see you in the next video.